Hi there, my name is Matt Cole.
And I'm Brian Garrity.
And we are the producers of the Sexperts Podcast, and we have a very special returning champion. Welcome back to the show, RandyRose.
Hey. Good to be back.
Yeah, well, you were treated with the most energy that Brian has delivered for any guest ever for this interview segment. So
I just ran through one of those big sheets of paper that cheerleaders hold out in front of football teams.
They're called cheerpersons, Brian. Okay, so let's talk.
I have a question for Randy.
Yeah, go for it.
Your knitted hat says bad seed. I have two questions. One, did you knit this hat? And two, is that a Sublime reference?
The answer to your first question is no, I crocheted it. There's a difference. So I used a hook and not a needle.
Yeah, you
Pardon
dick.
me, ooh la la.
You dick.
Your grandma would know
That's
difference.
like eating with the wrong fork of the sewing arts.
Basically, yeah, you ate your steak with a salad fork.
All right, second part, Sublime.
The second part, no, it's actually Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. It's a reference to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Is that where Sublime got? Tell me if you're a bad seed.
Yeah, so
or is it bad fish?
It's bad fish. Yeah.
God, you were wrong on all counts, Brian. I think you need to hang it up.
I was racking my brain trying to figure out like what.
Tune in next week for the next episode of. I don't really know that much about Sublime, but I talk like I do.
Yeah, you mentioned like the lead singer of Sublime last week in a live stream or something. I was like, why? Why is this coming up?
Because someone was talking about addictions ruining people's lives.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Brian. Okay.
Think of how many more albums we would have from Bradley Noel.
Or Jim Morrison.
He probably would have sang Bad Seed by now.
You're probably right.
Okay. Well, let's get to Randy now. What have you been up to? When were you last on this Experts? Let's talk about that.
Oh man, I didn't know I had to do homework before coming on the show.
You better.
Most people just know because it matters to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. You know what? I was a season 1 guy.
Bro, we're still in season 1.
It's all one season, baby. One big season.
Yeah. It was a long time ago. So I've been in. Obviously the last couple of years I was in Germany. So it was before I moved to Germany. So I had to have been in 2000 and I think it was like summer 2018.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for like 3 years, so you got in on the early part of that. That's cool.
We recently had our first person binge our show to death.
What number did they get to? Did they get to 190 at least?
Like 178.
And then they just died.
And then they called 911.
Well, so we need to know who the guest is on episode 178, because was it a binge death or was it a specific incident?
Trust me, they did not laugh themselves to death.
Well, what have you been up to? Catch us up since 2018. What's your life been like since then?
Well, so 2018, I was still in the Norfolk, Virginia area. I ended up taking a job with the government over in Europe, in Germany. So I spent a few years, moved my whole family over there, my wife and 3 kids. We moved over to Stuttgart, Germany. We lived there for a while. While I was there, I didn't do a ton of comedy. I actually focused more on music.
Cool.
For a little while. It was hard to find. Yeah, actually, believe it or not, I sang temporarily for a German band.
Whoa.
Yeah.
In German?
The Germans love like 80s pop, rock, and metal. Okay. So like Def Leppard, Billy Idol, that kind of stuff. Like obsessed. Mike and the Mechanics. I've never heard more Mike and the Mechanics in my entire life. And listening to German radio.
I don't think I know who that is. What was their big hit, Mike and the Mechanics?
Oh man, they had Through the Living Years and that Looking Back Over My Shoulder. That song. That song was on like every third song.
My God, you have the voice of an angel.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can we hear some of this? Is it recorded at all?
The stuff that I sang? No, I don't think so. I mean, we have some. I'm sure. Like I recorded a little bit, and the bass player recorded some, but it was weird because all they wanted to do were like the same, 10 songs that every other German cover band is playing, and so. They didn't want to move outside that box. And it was, it was like Sweet Child of Mine. And there were songs that are really hard to sing. Wow. And so I kept trying to push them in another direction. I was like, well, can we try some 90s hits?
No, fuck you.
Yeah, it didn't really work out. So
Want to do Nirvana, and they said you're out of the band.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it was a mutual thing, but they weren't really willing to budge, really, and I wasn't willing to just sing Guns N' Roses songs.
Yeah.
So.
Damn. Well, I'm so
you
sorry.
You wouldn't last 2 weeks in karaoke here.
Even it's funny. Even karaoke at the Barrel Room. Every time I went up and sang, I always picked some deep cut that nobody else in the room knew the lyrics to. So I'm just up there singing some song. But, the guy Matt Holman or somebody would sing before me, and the whole room would be singing with him. Yeah. And I'd go up there and pull out like an Erasure song or something, and they're like, everyone's just looking at me cross-eyed.
A Mike and the Mechanics song? Is that what you're gonna say, Brian?
Yeah, exactly.
I sang Psycho Killer in front of a bar full of kickball players, and no one paid attention.
Yeah. And wait, were you on that live stream when or did you watch, Randy, when fucking Brian did Lightning Crash's solo a cappella for That's amazing. It for Drunk Prov?
I was sober, but it was for Drunk Prov.
Yeah. Yes. That's a highlight of my fucking. In fact, I need to cut that snippet out and like put it all over, make it go viral. Like that was it was magical.
I'm cutting it out, putting it on USB drives, and sending it to my family as Christmas presents.
The fact that you made that decision to do that sober is, I think, probably the most impressive part.
It wasn't my decision.
He was forced to.
Part of the thing of that show is we take donations to support Push Comedy Theater, and if you donate $100, you can have the entire cast sing any song of your choosing. Someone donated $100 and asked for just me, and I wasn't even in the cast. I was doing back end production work, but I had to do it. It was for charity. Do
you know? I mean, we are very gracious. We'll talk about this with you specifically, Randy, in just a little bit. But it sometimes is astounding, and I have to be humble as well as gracious about like. What Brian just described sounds like crazy. Somebody paid $100
absolutely
to have a cast of drunk people online sing a song for them, but it actually is, like Brian said, going for a good cause for the Push Comedy Theater, and hopefully we all get back to live in person. I thought that was a Rudy
comedy. Giuliani moment there for a second. you just Rudy tootied on the air.
And so I know you have been helping us out. Well, not helping us out, but like performing your ass off as well on several of the, especially the Master Debaters live show. Talk about that. We're jumping from 2018 and then Germany into now.
Yeah, what was interesting was while in Germany, right as COVID was kicking, well, really the end of 2019 and the beginning of this year, I hadn't really been performing, but I volunteered to. I kind of got hooked up with the theater teacher at the high school. It's an American high school there in Germany, and we had started chatting because a guy that I worked with was doing sound for the theater department, and he was moving back to the States. So he introduced us. She needed a sound guy, and so I went in to help set up the sound. And as we started talking, it just came out that I had been doing improv and some sketch and stuff. And she was like, "Would you like to teach an improv class?" I was like, hell yeah.
Nice.
So for the last, leading up to the pandemic, the last like 4 months I guess the last 3 months of 2019 and then the first couple months of 2020, I was teaching improv to high school students.
Cool.
And then there was this gap, right, where I didn't do anything because coronavirus.
Yeah.
And so, when you guys started putting together a lot of the Zoom shows, it was a no-brainer for me to get involved. So I was really honored and happy to get involved with those. Master Debaters is a great idea, a great format for Zoom. It's really hard to figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
And like, how do you do comedy via Zoom, right? I mean, that's a difficult problem, but I think the format of Master Debaters works really well. Actually, and Real Funny is another one, just the format of people telling stories. And, giving them the opportunity to it's not a bit really. I mean, it can be a bit, but it's just a platform for them to be creative. It's a creative outlet for folks.
Yeah. The only thing left for us to figure out is how to get people to watch it.
Which once we figure that out, we'll be golden.
This gives me an opportunity to plug, what I'm going to do for Coachella, because I think what you're missing is more boobs. And
that's the ticket.
We've had plenty of boobs. Angel Sanchez hasn't finished the live stream show with his shirt on.
Yes. No.
Maybe I'll have to have him as my special guest for
Coachella.
Hooked
Yeah.
on Boobs.
Well, thank you so much for the compliments, Randy. And yeah, we agree. And Amber Nettles, and who famously you went to school with,
Yes,
but
yeah.
she has a show that's kind of like American Master Debaters. I forgot what her show is called. Don't know. Gladiators. Improv Gladiators. I think.
American
Yeah,
Master
Improv
Gladiators.
Yeah. And she was actually pushing. It's like, hey, be thinking down the line, like when you get back in the theater, like what do you want to do? And like Real Funny and American Masturbators, we came up with those things, but like I think they could translate, to the stage as well. I can't wait to do that, like at the Push Comedy Theater, hopefully, with maybe like debate podiums, or I haven't even thought of the visual yet, but it is good for a virtual format. And thank you for doing that. And I love
how
how
he makes great podiums.
Oh God, yeah. Our friend, shout out to Drew Richard, who we asked to make a podium for one of our sketches, where it's like we had to move it on stage and off stage. He made us a 78-pound podium, which was the most unwieldy thing.
We had to
just
hire a
left
crew of 6 to do.
He forgot you guys were comedians. He's like,
it was sturdy. I think it still exists. It's gonna outlast me. Anyways,
They use it in a teen show, and it took out one of the teens.
yeah, of course it still exists. It'll cost you guys $300 to get rid of it.
okay. So you brought up Coachella, and I'll briefly say what that's all about, because I
There's a family of 4 living in it right now.
because I came up with this genius idea, which I'm regretting. But so Coachella, for my birthday, I usually like to throw my own party and just hang out with friends and blah blah blah. But this year that's not going to be happening. So I'm going to do what I do best and do a live stream. It's going to be 24 hours. It's going to start December 18th at 8 p.m. all the way. It's going to end with a drunk prov, which I'm probably going to collapse and die, on December 19th, which is my actual birthday, at 8 p.m. And it's a 24-hour live stream. We're doing it for charity, the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore. Going to try to raise $3,500 for those people. And because I'm turning 35. What time slot do you got, Randy, and what will you be doing? Don't give it all away, but give us a sneak peek.
So I am doing my bit's going to be educational, actually, but I'm at it like 1 o'clock. I think I'm 1 to 2 o'clock on Saturday in the afternoon.
Okay.
At the coveted,
Yeah.
post lunch nap time slot. So it's going to be a real snoozer. Now I picked up 2 hobbies during the pandemic. One of them is playing the piano.
Yeah.
And the other is crocheting.
Cool.
Which I know everyone who knows me and knows what I look like. I'm not exactly the stereotypical crocheter, but I'm not a 90-year-old grandma lady.
Right.
But I thought it would be kind of fun to teach people, do like a comedy meets arts and crafts show.
Yeah. And
so I'm going to tell stories and hopefully some jokes while I teach people how to crochet.
Okay.
Boobs.
Boobs?
It's called Hooked on Boobs. And teach people how to crochet their own boobs.
Yeah, I swear. This is, I would love to time travel back to when I was like, 12 and like, you know what? I want to be an actor. I want to be a comedian when I grow up, and be like, hey, one day, if you keep working hard at this stuff, you're going to have a 24-hour computer show where somebody will teach crocheting and boobs. And I'll be like, I can't wait. And by the way, your hair looks amazing. Thank you.
Can I break a little Coachella news on here?
Yeah.
So according to the Southeastern Virginia website, Southeastern Virginia Food Bank website, for every $10 donated, they can distribute up to $60 worth of grocery products into the community.
No fucking way.
So if we raise $3,500, my friend, that's $21,000 worth of groceries delivered into the community.
That's amazing.
Brian, I see, and Brian's gonna be my co-host. This is why I have him as co-host. He comes up with this shit. This is awesome. I didn't know that.
But it's accurate. It's based off of their numbers.
That's fucking.
That would equate to $21,000 worth of food in the community.
Send me that, Brian, because I'm gonna put that. I don't even have that in the fucking event. Like that's a really.
Yeah,
I
just looked it up because I thought they might say something like that on the site. But
cool. No, that's
cool
that.
About
that is awesome.
That's a resume bullet right there.
Yeah. Oh, I had to
21,000.
So I mean, 3,500 itself is great.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome.
But they make it stretch. So
And I have to say this because I think if some people are listening, they may have had a little bit of misinformation from me. I randomly was looking up like live stream for charity and just kind of getting ideas and blah blah blah. There was actually, and this is true, a 35-year-old, which I'm turning 35 for this, who died during a charity live stream in Virginia Beach like 6 or 7 years ago, and this freaked me out because like I haven't been living very healthily with the pandemic, like,
And because you've been obsessed with your own death for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So I was freaking people out and telling people, and this was genuinely freaking people out, especially like, we had somebody in the theater, Adam Payne, pass away unexpectedly. So they're like, don't say that, Matt, don't say that. But I actually recently found out they found out later that like he actually OD'd. He was actually like shooting up heroin that was laced with fentanyl. So don't worry guys, I'll be okay. I'm not on heroin. So
My heroin's clean.
So, oh god, Sean Devereaux, he listens to these, and he's going to be on the on Coachella, but he's don't worry about me, Sean. Thank you for listening. All right, anyways, I could talk with you forever. Thank you, Randy, and glad that you stayed in touch even when you were over in Germany. Love watching pictures of you with the front doors over in Germany, all of that, and
oh yeah,
glad you're
I
back.
did like the
talk
doors
about
too.
that.
Yeah. Glad you're back in the States. Glad you're working with us on the live stream stuff. Let's keep each other working. We want to hear some of your music recordings. I do, at least. We'll see you at Coachella 1 p.m. on Saturday the 19th. Anything else you want to plug or put out there?
No, but now that you brought up the doors thing, I got to figure out how to do that here. There's some really good looking doors up in this area too. So.
Oh, okay.
And it's not as weird as you might think. A lot of people are like, "What's the deal with door photography?" But there's a whole community of I call us dorks.
Oh God,
dorks,
that's,
2 O's.
That's a dork.
Yeah,
we'll cut that out.
We'll cut that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole community of us apparently, and it's a thing. There's puzzles, right? If there's puzzles with pictures of doors on it, it must be legit.
All right. Well, before you get another weirdo hobby,
on that sad and somber note.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not one of those window weirdos.
Oh God!
When I become a window
2020
photographer,
just continues to kick you in the nuts.
All right. Well, what about a wind idiot? Idiot with wind?
I love
no,
it.
that doesn't
Windy,
work.
Windiots.
Oh God damn it! All right. Well, thank you, and now we are on the episode. Bye bye.
Bye bye.